In the most recent Ballistic update, 2 maps, utilities, and weapons were added. In this video, I'll be going over and reviewing this update. To begin with, we got 2 new weapons, the Burst AR and the Sovereign Sniper. These weapons are both new. The Burst AR costs 2,000 credits, slightly more than the Hyper SMG. However, I don't think I'll be buying the Burst AR since I think the spread is worse, there's less damage, and for the same money you could buy the Hyper SMG and 1 flashbang or a smoke grenade. Now the Sovereign Sniper costs 1,500 credits, about double the cost of the hand cannon and a third the cost of the Reaper Sniper. It has quite good damage, I think like 100 damage, so you would need 2 shots to eliminate an enemy. But the bullet drop is also noticeable at a long range or like long medium range. Anyway, I would still buy this weapon in some rounds just to get some cool clutch moments, or just like get people around corners while like defending. Next on our list, there are 2 new utility items, the Fire Grenade and Overdrive. These are both utilities you have to lock in on at the beginning, like the Bubble Shield, Frag, Impulse, etc. This now means there's more choice in utilities, as 7 grenades split across 5 players means if everyone else already locked in, then you still have a choice. When you use the Overdrive item, you get slightly faster fire rate, reload speed, and weapon swap speed. This effect lasts 12 seconds, during which you'll have an orange glow. I personally won't ever be locking in on this just because I think it's underpowered. The Fire Grenade, as said, makes a circle of fire when it lands. This circle is about 2 to 3 meters wide and lasts 6 seconds, doing 30 damage per second. But watch out, it also damages you and your teammates, making it unique to every other item in Ballistic. In contrast to the Overdrive kit, I'll definitely be locking in on this item, but I still have a priority of the Bubble Shield. First of all, because it does a lot of damage, and during its entire lifetime it can do a total of 180 damage to any player. If you throw it around a planted device or corner, you can just completely stop players from going there, and I think that really fits my playstyle. Alright, lastly we have the new maps. These look very scrappy with completely unfinished textures. It's just there to give us a taster of what's to come. The Cove is themed after a modern beach resort, while Hammerfall has a large castle theme. What I can say about these 2 maps are that they're a lot more open, with more open spaces and roofs and stuff. I don't really like this, as my favorite part of Skyline 10, the old map, was going around close corners and surprising people, and being more compressed. And these close corners are also more useful for utilities like the fire, frag, or bubble, since they'll cover the entire hallway rather than only a section. I won't be covering actual pictures of these maps, but covering the map layouts, as they're the only things that will actually stay, and I'll be comparing them to Skyline 10's, as it's my favorite and the foundation of Ballistic. You can see if I compare Skyline 10 with StormChaser Cove, StormChaser Cove is a lot more filled in, and has less gaps in the hallways. And like I don't think this. I personally don't like it, as this makes the hallways thicker, but also the general amount of hallways smaller. So the map feels like a lot more open. And you can also see that the planting sites are a lot bigger. Like B site is like larger than the spawn areas, even like a lot larger, and A site's like gigantic. So yeah, if you compare Hammerfall to Skyline 10, you can see a main imbalance, that A site and B site are way closer to the defenders than the attackers. I mean, A site and B site are usually a bit closer to the defenders, but this is a very big imbalance. Um, However, I do still like this map as the hallways are thinner in most parts, and there's more space in between the hallways, like over here, just like the Skyline 10 map. And one more thing I'd change is adding more twists and turns. You can see here there's like it's hard to find places where like you can just shoot straight across the map, but here you can shoot from like all the way over here to there's like a lot of space. If you're trying to attack here, people could snipe you or like shoot you very easily while you're trying to run to the sites. But one more thing I want to talk about with Hammerfall is that there are levers. Like there's giant doors around the sites, and you can open and close them with levers. It takes about 3 seconds to open or close. I was skeptical at first because the main idea of the ballistic maps are that they're more like set in stone, concrete. Like you can't change them around, you can't destroy things. But I realized this adds a whole new meta to the game, as you can just try to keep all the doors shut and not let the other team enter the site to either plant or defuse. Now, this last note brings me to my conclusion of these new maps, which are that they're so different. I shouldn't critique them on how different they are to Skyline 10. Ballistic isn't defined by Skyline 10, but it becomes, I guess, what the devs make of it, and we'll have fun either way. So, yeah, it's not that they all have to be the same. There can be different, different aspects to it that we should be open to. To recap, we have the Burst AR added to the game and the Sovereign Sniper, which is a cheap and simpler alternative to the Reaper. We have the Overdrive kit, which makes you faster, and the Fire Grenade, which makes a deadly ring of fire. We have a beach resort theme map called StormChaser Cove and a castle map named Hammerfall with giant doors you can open and close with levers around the sides, both of which are scrappy, undeveloped textures.